Boreale Cast 9 has been initiated.
Hello, Mr. Internet. You will know us as the Alpha Legion. We're going to be your host for tonight, and we're going to massage your eardrum.
Hello, Alpha Legion. Welcome to Boreale Cast, whatever it is.
Hey, Fresh, why is there a pimped out python in your backyard? Don't worry about it.
One day, Boreale and Captain Diomedes were sitting in the icy fields of Swedesia. They were playing Jumanji, and when Boreale rolled the die, it just said, "Into the grinder it went," and called the deranged appearance shoved both into a giant meat grinder.
Once upon a time, we were invading a country, a planet, because that's what we do when we're bored, and the Ultramarines show up, and they were like, Codex Astartes does not support this action. And then we went and had a sandwich, and we went home at the end.
Oh, yeah, alright.
So one day, I was out watching the Great Wasteland, which is like, after the great cactus fields of Californiatis, you have the Great Wastelands. There's absolutely nothing there, except that I did see a pale blue dot in the distance. Out in the distance, I saw a single drop pod, and what appeared to be a space marine swimming through the sand. Upon closer inspection, it was in fact Alfabusa, swimming at high speed through the sand towards the cactus field, screaming cactus off his lungs.
One time, there was a chimera whose name was Joe. His dream was to go the fastest. However, there was a jet bike who was faster. His name was Asshole. Joe the Chimera ran away. So then Joe was the fastest.
Diomedes, ever since I was a young boy on KDI, I used to read the comic Tales of the Space Marine Heroes. And it wasn't just to read about stories like the Old Marines or the Raven Guard. I wanted to hear about the Blood Ravens, and one particular Blood Raven, Captain Diomedes. Diomedes, you have taught me to just never give up and to always just be determined and make sure to give those aliens a good kicking and
blindly follow a guy who's clearly a heretic. Sorry.
And also to realize what is right and wrong with the Imperium and make sure to just forgive those battle brothers who you once thought were the true heretics and cradle them in your arms and give them robot arms and shit so they can become chapter master and steal all the credit.
50 Shades of Bald by Thunderpsyker.
Wait,
yeah.
Alpha, guess what? Now this section is the Carl Cast. I can't say anything, but you can say something. Say something. This is the Carl Cast. Heavy metal music go. Story!
Alpha, go now! Alpha, tell us the story about Boreale's adventure.
No!
The story involves how I came to join the third company. One day, the Fresh Sorcerer was walking through the town of Cheesetown one day, looking for bitches to fuck as his every Saturday evening activities. And he walked into a pub, and he saw a man in a hat and red goggles. And he went up to the man, and he said, "Hey, do you know some prime pussy around here?" And the dude just looked at him and be like, "Please, not the face!" And then the man behind him, and he said, "Hey, you want to get some beer?" And I'm just like, "No, I want to get bitches." And then Larry, being an alcoholic, misunderstood bitches as beer. So he gave me like a tankard full of beer. One thing led to another. I ended up in bed with Dr. White, and that's how I joined the third company.
I have one more tale to tell.
It is time.
It's very similar to Fresh's before. One day, nobody was walking around Cheesetown because nobody...
Oh.
Suddenly silence.
Suddenly
silence.
It was cut off from telling the story because it was too secret for anyone to know the real truth.
One day, Alpha went to the librarium to make his cactus account. He was like, cactus green, short cactus. Then he was like, wait a second, wait this, my strawberry cactus. No, these dogs, again, they're stealing my strawberries and killing my puppies. So from that day on, Alpha declared a crusade into the planet of Polonia.
For reference, people, Turbo Dunker is an Argentinian man that we know, and he's just kind of here, but he says amazing things. He is our spiritual liege.
I want everyone to say Hail Turbo Dunker at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Hail Turbo Dunker!
At one particular century, no one knows when particularly, Alfabusa, chapter master of the Alpha Legion, decided to wage war on the Palensians for their stealing of the Alpha berries, which were a secret fuel source that powered the ancient Bathblade, which had at the time not yet found its current power supply. And so, during this war against the Palensians for stealing these Alpha berries, Alfabusa decided to unleash all of the Titans the Alpha Legion had under its command, which was just one tiny little Titan. The pilot of that Titan was stomping around and it stepped on all of the berries, but Alfabusa was so caught up in his war against the Palensians that he decided to blame the Palensians, and they was like, no, we did not step on the berries. But Alfabusa was like, no, you shall die now, and they died. The end.
There once was a plague marine. He enters Suidasia. The very ground trembled. The very sky turned pitch black. Sky rained down signs that says, no fun allowed. To this day, you might find some signs that might say no fun allowed. A lot of people didn't have fun at all.
Also, what are you talking about, Nexus? You live in my fucking basement.
I also live in Alpha.
Once you're done with fun time, I sneak between those sneaky space marine gates. I just put on the helmet and I sit on you. I'm just snoring, stupid kids.
Beautiful.
There was upon a time on Suidasia, I was in my artist office and were working on some pictures. Then suddenly on the door it knocked. I opened the door. On the door it was an unwelcome guest. I refused his entrance, but he entered anyhow. It was my long lost brother,
Hitler.
Christianus. He told me, even if he had turned to chaos long ago, that he was repenting and gonna go back to the ways of the emperor. Oh dear, I'm so naive. Directly when he come into my home, he start with his chaos rituals as usual, and he was passing out on my floor. And I just said to myself, not again. And I called the apothecary. The apothecary took him away and locked him away, never again to be seen again.
Sigurd, is this based on real life events?
Cactus!
Cactus!
One day, I was floating around in space. Everything was fine. And then I saw a single planet coming towards me really fast. I have no idea what's going on, and I was starting to spin around faster and faster and faster. Things were getting really dizzy and really, really hot.
What?
And then I somehow crashed into something really hard, and I got up.
A moose!
No, it was not a moose. I got up, and it was Alfabusa's fucking cactus mount.
Get him!
I screamed from fucking pain.
It was.
And that was the story of how Ares lost his virginity.
Oh shit! Fuck your cacti!
So, I was drifting through the warp on my bench, sipping wine. I suddenly noticed I was getting a bit low on my special wine, and I decided, with my Slaneshi mind, think of something new to drink. And so I swing by Californatus and collect some cactuses, and distill it down to make cactus wine. And I was sipping it, and it was tasting pretty good. And then suddenly I hear screams of pain ripple throughout the warp, and I hear, cactus! And I look to the side, and in the infinite spawn of the warp, I see Alfabusa riding Ares as he flies through the warp at high speed. They tackled me and slammed me into Suidasia, and then they latch me down to my bench and start force-feeding me cactus until I cry for mercy. And that's why I'm stuck in the fucking Alpha Legion all the time.
Alpha, kill it. Just kill it.
Okay, I'm killing it.
Fucking kill it.
Die, Boreale Cast, die!
Everyone!